Hey guys, Aerithia here, and this is part 2 of building the castle. So, something pretty cool happened this week. My bridge blueprint was mentioned by Planet Coastal on Twitter, and we got a bit of a boost on the channel because of that. So, thank you so much to Frontier, and I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. So, welcome to the channel. For this episode, we will continue right where we left off last time. I started working on this part over here, but now we need to do the lower side. This episode is somewhat longer than I had planned, and because of that, I had to cut into this one quite a lot. And I decided the best parts to cut out were the things that I have to do multiple times, so I wouldn't lose the important parts. But yeah, I will show you what I'm building and detailing just once, then skip to the next part, and you can assume that when I made something on one side, I did it on the other side as well. So for example, here on this side, I will also just apply this on the inside, so that is pretty nice for when we start building on the next episode. So here you can see it's a little skip and the details are already there, so I won't show you that. But the building is pretty symmetrical at this point, and I will change that, even though that was very hard for me. I will change that. There are just a lot of things that I had to build twice because it was so symmetrical. So I will only show you what I've done once, and I will try to explain this process as well as I can. I said that I wanted the episodes to be a little bit shorter for this series, and yeah, that didn't work out for this episode at all. I was so set on getting the exterior done this week so we could do the interior and the queue line for the coaster in the next episode. And some detailing, I really want to put in some trees and stuff like that because that will change the whole look of this. But I had to edit 2 weeks of footage into one, so I hope you won't mind too much that this one is a bit longer, because otherwise next week we would be watching the same kind of episode again. So if you guys do mind, let me know and I will just split them up next time. But I really wanted to get some real progress in here. But I'm getting a bit behind here, so I started working on a buttress, another piece like the towers that I can just use over and over again, and this will be in the next blueprint. I'm putting together a little build package for you guys in this style, and I will tell you more about that at the end of the episode. But I think this buttress looks really cool when you add it to the build, and it looks a lot like the arches I put on the bridge, and I will also put in the lights that I use on the bridge in this build, so that makes everything tied together, and it really does look so cool towards the end result. It just gives that extra level of detail and depth, and that is something that is very important when you're making a building and you feel like you're getting stuck on a basic idea you had, which happens to everyone at some point. It just doesn't look like what you had in mind, and I've seen this many times when I was a moderator on a server of Minecraft Creative, and there were tons of builders that were really good and had so many great ideas, but they couldn't get themselves to that next level of building. And the tip that I can give you is try to avoid flat walls as much as you can. You will need some flat walls because if you put crazy details all over the place, everything will just look too busy and you won't get the desired effect either. But try to create some depth with balconies and gables, columns, pillars, towers, buttresses in this case, and extend your walls out a bit on different heights and or directions. You can even add a different color to a flat wall for the foundation to break up the wall a little bit, things like that. There are so many things you could do to make something look more interesting, and you only need some patience and look for things that would look good and balance it out a little bit. You can see in this episode that I will do a lot of everything that I just mentioned, just keep adding and removing things until I get the effect that I'm looking for, and the end result can amaze you sometimes, you know. This build was not easy for me, but it was tons of fun and I learned so much again. Every time I build, I learn so much, so many new things, and yeah, I was pretty surprised how it all looked, even though I couldn't see it right away, you know? So now that I have the basic idea down for this castle, I could move on to the second level, and this is where it gets kind of fun. Still, stay with me a little bit because everything just keeps changing until the episode is at the end, and in this case it's nothing like what you see is what you get. So yeah, I will start off making it symmetrical again, but when I have the base down I will start changing a lot of the shape. Oh yeah, something I should probably mention is that you can see I did something with the wishing tree over here, but that will be deleted eventually. I will figure out something else for the next episode, but I really just put that down to add something over there because it seems so empty, but I know I can do way better than that. So yeah, that will definitely change. And next episode I will also just focus on a lot of pots and plants and things like that, because for now the build is just bare and it really is gray and white and black and a little bit cold. I do like, because of the gold, it gives it a little bit of a warmer tint as well, but yeah, there is definitely some need for some green in here. So making some more of these details, and I think I will copy this over and change it a little bit for a lower section as well. But yeah, I do really like how this looks and how it just gives that little bit of extra detail over there. And I kind of work all over the place in this episode because I was just so inspired and I had a lot of ideas. And when working on one side, I saw something else that could use some work. And before I forget, I just have to get that idea in there. So yeah, I hop all over the place with this one. And because I'm working on this myself, it's kind of hard to judge if it's hard to follow or not. So I hope it isn't too bad. So over here, as you can see, something you can do to break up the wall, like I said, is just to add another color or pattern in there. And these walls are pretty long and flat, but just by adding these black borders together with the buttresses and the roofs, it will start to create a level of detail and depth. And at this point, they aren't even close to done. So, but first work on these towers for a little bit, because I just copied those over from the ones in the front, but I did want to change it a little bit. So it's not a bad thing to use the same things again and again to an extent, but if you're just changing the top, it makes it look like something new. And yeah, I found it's really a great idea just to build some parts first, like the towers, because when you're in the flow of building, it just feels great to grab something you already made and add it to something you're working on at that time. And it makes it just so much easier and faster to get the ideas down that you like. And back to the roof over here, I had to add these corners. It's kind of just not finished. And at the back side over here, I believe, yeah, I had to put in some roof tiles because that looks kind of weird to leave that open. Even though if you will probably never even see it if it's not there, not really. I mean, I don't exactly know how I want to do the inside yet, but I don't think the people will come up here anyway. Well, who knows? That would be kind of cool actually, but I don't know if that would work yet. So I have to finish everything off, even though you will probably never even see it in the first place. So I extended these walls a little bit over here because it was getting a bit long, and to compensate for that I had to make it somewhat wider, and I will keep doing that on some other parts as well until it looks right. So I had to delete that and extend it a bit. Also, I just copied over this side over here, and I will adjust it for the back, but I thought it would be nice to have a basic wall to start out with for the back side as well. And yeah, just rearranging these floor tiles a little bit. I'm just a little bit OCD when it comes to that. So yeah, like I said, I could just use parts that I already used before for the back side over here, and that way I can just easily adjust it later on. So yeah, I'm just shuffling around with walls at this time, just getting these large pieces in. And even though I really don't like flat walls and it feels like it's kind of limiting and feels like it's already done, but it's not, and you have to change so much. But I had to get the basic shape down so I could actually see how I wanted to detail this big structure. So just getting these buttresses buttresses in again, and I think I've tried that a few times now, but this time most of it will stay. And yeah, at this time I realized I wanted to make it a little bit more asymmetrical, so I started doing that over here. Also, like I said, the building was getting a bit long, so I really felt like it should be a little bit wider. And yeah, this was a great way to start doing that. So Just figuring out here still what I'm doing. At this point I only knew I wanted it to make it wider, and then I thought maybe another tower is a good idea. And this one is a little bit bigger than the other ones, and I will use this one quite a bit. This was a great way to fill up that wall over there, and I will also put this one in the blueprint pack that I'm putting together for you guys, so it might be pretty fun to watch how this was built and then just use it for yourselves. And yeah, I hope you can find some use for it, and feel free to share with me what you have made with my blueprints. I would actually love to see how you guys would use it or how you made it your own. The only thing I would ask is that you don't claim it as your own when you're promoting it on YouTube or anything. It's not mandatory, but if you could mention the channel or link the video or my Steam workshop, that would be great and very, very much appreciated. So next to that, you can do whatever you want with it. Change the color, shape, turn it upside down, I don't care. But yeah, do feel free to show me what you have done with it. You can always reach me here on YouTube or Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So yeah, I had some trouble getting this one into place, as you can see, and for some reason the octagonal one doesn't want to change color no matter what color I pick. It just stays the same color, so I had to go for the round one. It's already becoming one of my favorite objects. I use it quite a bit in this build. And these spires, I really love those, how you can overlap them and make it look more detailed. Definitely because the roofs are mainly white, it's good to have some detail in there, and I must say white and gold looks pretty good together. Now just putting in some of these column pieces to make it a bit wider. I wanted this tower to have a different shape, so I chose these capstones. They give a nice border, and the only thing I had some issues with is that the main structure of the castle is all on one grid and these towers are on separate grids. So most of the time that doesn't give you any trouble, because when you're working on one grid you can just click on a building with another one and you will automatically work on that one. So most of the time that's really, really awesome. But these capstones have a pretty big radius for some reason, so you can't edit anything on another grid when the capstone is nearby. Also, when you do want to select it and it's already placed down, I can't seem to select it at all. So yeah, that is very weird to me. So I had to move the towers every time I needed to change something on the main structures. So now I will just copy it over and place it down there, and you can kind of see the blueprint selection I have selected for now, and there will be more. I will select some more things for you guys, but yeah, just doing some terrain editing. I want the back of the castle to be on somewhat higher ground, so it looks like it was built on a rougher terrain. Also, this way the backside doesn't seem so long and out of proportion, so it's all about making it look right from every angle and do whatever you can to just balance things out a bit. Here I just copied over some of these smaller details and then I was distracted again apparently, but I will change that later. So I edited out a lot of that because I was just kind of messing around with it for a long time, but that will change a lot still. So yeah, I just had to put something in there and then I will continue on that a little bit later. Working some more on the back side here because I still don't have the basic shape down, and then I will copy over these towers that I used on the other side as well. And it's so nice, like I said, to have some of these pieces ready because it changes the whole look right away, and yeah, it just really helps out a lot to have some of these pieces already made. I only had to extend them a bit down because so it would fit the backside, but yeah, very nice. Right now this all seems still very messy, but that will be fixed very soon. And yeah, the detailing over here is somewhat busier than in the front because I thought the backside could use something extra. And you will only see this part from the coaster that we will be making very soon. So yeah, I thought that would be a good thing to use. And then at this point I thought this side is probably where the coaster will come through. I have to figure out a way though to do the queue lines inside, and if I would use this for the coaster to come through, I don't know if I have enough space for that on the inside, but maybe I will figure out something else. I will need some space for the new priority queues as well, which was such a cool little extra thing they added in Alpha 3. Something I didn't expect at all, but I do really like it. Working on these windows now, and like I said, I will change the detailing quite a bit, and I'm creating some kind of balcony over here, and this will still change quite a bit as well, but I only will leave it on the right side over here, and I will do something different on the left side. Yeah, you can see here I had some trouble selecting this, and that was because of the capstone. Like I said before, you can just only select it maybe on 1 pixel or something, so yeah, that was giving me some trouble here and there, but it's fine. With some effort you can work around it. So I copied over these borders over here, but I don't even think you will see them in the end. And copying over more of these towers, like I said, I will use them quite a bit, and it just makes it look so detailed and so easy. You just have to build it once and then you can just use it again and again. So that is pretty awesome to me. It all takes so much time to build something like this, and they made it so easy for us to copy things over, and that is something I loved in Minecraft as well, is when you worked with World Edit and you could just build something once and then copy it over. That makes it just a lot easier and you can think bigger because of that. Adding some more of these windows as borders, which is something that works pretty well. And yeah, the inside of this larger structure is just a mess. Big mess. So if I want to use that part, I will have to clean that up quite a bit. In the front I took that in account, but at the back side at this point when I was building, I was just like, okay, nobody's gonna see that anyway, but maybe I will need to use it for something, and maybe I can even do another right in here somewhere. It's such a big structure and there's so much space, but I would have to clean up the inside quite a bit for that. But we always have next episode, and maybe I will take a break from the castle and do something else for one episode, but yeah, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm also just really happy that the exterior of the castle is as good as finished, so yeah, pretty happy about that. I've been getting some comments on buildings I did on forums and stuff, and I heard a few times now I wish I could build like that, and some insecurity about if they could play this game, and I wanted to address that a little bit. First of all, thank you, that is a compliment, but I do want to say this game is so easy to learn but somewhat harder to master. Still, if you like games like these and you played Roller Coaster Tycoon and you want to play it, just do it. This game is absolutely amazing. There are many ways to play this game, and you will have the management side soon where you won't be able to build crazy things like this anyway. That would be way too expensive. And you have the blueprint system, and that is great for if you don't like modular building that much or if you're not that good at it, and that is completely normal because this is definitely not for everyone. But because of the blueprints, you can see it like you will have tons of scenery items that you can use and build up your park with. Maybe just focus on the rides and coasters and stuff. Pick some of the cool blueprints to fill it up a bit, and you're set and done. Add some trees and some foliage, and you will see how easy this game is at making things look good. That is actually a thing. This game makes it so easy for something to look good. So it's also just about having a good time, right? You can just enjoy the game and have fun. Gaming used to be so different. You would just pick up a game, play it, and that's all you needed out of a game. And now with social media, everyone wants to share things because it adds something to the experience, which is absolutely great. But I do feel like you should be able to still enjoy a game for what it is as well, and just have a great time with it. And this is definitely a game you can do that with. Just have a good time and spend some time building something up. And yeah, man, I sound old. Like the good old days. But yeah, I'm not that young anymore anyway, so What I was doing while I was rambling is working on these roofs, and I had some trouble with the size of it. It's so big, and I needed to find a way to shape it and detail it so it looks a little bit better. And yeah, here just working on this hallway that goes to the upper tower. That is probably not the correct term for that, but I thought that would be something nice to add. So it seems like if this castle was functional, they would have many ways of getting around, and it just breaks up all the white, which was something I really felt was necessary. Same goes for the window extension and the details I'm adding right now. It just breaks up the white a little bit, and yeah, it makes it look a lot better. I will just keep adding little things and try to make it look better, and I'm not easily satisfied, so I can just go on and on until I have what I want. And yeah, there's actually no real limit for me for when I need to stop doing this, because I always have the overwhelming need to make it as perfect as I can, and I'm quite a perfectionist, but doesn't mean everything will be perfect. That is something people confuse quite a bit, but yeah, I do like to make it as perfect as I can. Now, at this point, I still felt like there was a little bit too much of the white, definitely here in the middle, and because I used the black roofs on top of the hallways, I thought it would be nice to add an extra black border over here, and this worked pretty well, and it just gave it that another level of detail, which is something by now you probably know about me that I really love, and I'm very passionate about details. Details, it's all about the details, and that is eventually what makes the build look great. So yeah, adding in a bunch of the gold, and this was pretty cool. You can see over here I sink it into the roof quite a bit, and you get a gold border beneath it, so that worked out pretty well. And yeah, at this point I'm gonna add a few more towers to make it really look like a castle, and some more of these buttresses on this side, and there is still a random detail part over there with the black windows. I don't know what that is still doing there. I probably thought that I could use that at some point. But yeah, over here I'm starting to make this asymmetrical because I still felt like, okay, this is not completely what I'm looking for. This was kind of difficult because I had to copy it over and see if I selected the correct things, and it's pretty easy to mess up things when you do something like this. And it was finally getting to a point that I have the basic shape and I was just doing the detailing now, and we will keep doing that for a little bit. We still have to do the lights and make this somewhat wider over here, still for the basic shape of the castle to just feel right and not too long. And yeah, making it a little bit wider over here just really helped, and also I did that already on the other side, so as you can see, that just made it look so much better. And then I decided to copy over this base and use it on this tower over here to just make it look a little bit longer. And just another thing you can just copy, and you can see how much better it looks. And yeah, this side as well, still not completely satisfied, so I decided to delete a part of that as well, and I think I will place some towers on top of that. And right now you can actually see how this is gonna look in full, and except for some extra little things I will add here and there to actually really finish it off. But yeah, I'm really satisfied with the shape and how it looks, and making it asymmetrical, which is something I'm not really comfortable with, and I don't even know why. I've just always been really comfortable with symmetry for some reason. I don't even know why. It's probably very silly. So I still had some issues with the amount of white in here, so I decided to replace the flat roofs with a black one. So yeah, that fits a little bit better also with the floor on the first level over here, so that made it match a little bit more, and that is something I really like. So yeah, you can see I move my camera back quite often, and definitely when you're working on a large structure like this, it's very important just to keep an eye on the overall look of the castle as well as the details on close-up, because you can easily lose track of what you're working on. And Oh yeah, I still had to change this balcony a bit and just made it a little bit smaller and added these borders over here. So now this part is completely finished except for the lights, and we will switch to nighttime pretty soon. But first we still needed to do some work on the back over here. And at first I thought I would leave this open because I still need to do the interior, and the camera can at times collide with the terrain and buildings quite a bit. So yeah, there is much space in there, so I think that will be fine anyways. We'll have to see how that works for an episode though, because in my experience when you're building the interior, it gets a little bit fast and confusing when you're doing the inside, so maybe I will just slow it down a bit or just select parts for you to watch. So yeah, adding another window extension, and I really felt like this could use something extra, so the Oriole worked really well for that. I didn't use a lot of those because they are so small and the castle has a lot going on already and it's really big in comparison. But I do hope I can find some use for them, maybe on the inside or anything, because I do really like them. Now I will just delete this path over here because I wanted this to be on higher ground and feel like it was built upwards towards a mountain and higher ground. So I will still have to do some work on that, of course, and make the spiky mountains like I've been doing. Adding a bunch of windows to fill up the empty spaces, and that is something this build really needed as well. And after that we will switch to nighttime so we can work on the lights. And here you can see I was really struggling with the grid and the capstone. That I just wanted to keep selecting the capstone even though I was clicking on something else. So I had to move the towers out of the way eventually. And like I said, I think at the beginning of the episode I wanted to do something with how I did the lights on the bridge. So I use this Oriole again, and this time I won't use the dragon torches, but these torches I've been using over here. So I will sink it in a bit and copy it over and place it randomly around the building so that everything just ties into each other. And yeah, just looking for places to put this on, and I had to delete these windows to add it over there, and I couldn't select the light because it was covered by the Oriole. So I had to put those in manually, but that is just fine. And yeah, lights are so important for something like this. I always do that last because I feel like that is the finishing touch and I can see if I'm completely satisfied with how everything looks. And for now I am. It could be that I still, when I start up the game, that I still need to do some little things here and there, but I will do a real-time part when the castle is completely finished. But yeah, that is almost it, guys. The blueprint will probably be online the day after I post this video. And I will just select a few things that really makes this castle to what it is. And some of the roofs maybe, and walls and wall details. And I will just make a nice selection of things for you guys to use and change to your own style. And there are already so many blueprints around that are just done and set, and I really like to make things where you can just still be a little bit creative yourself, and I think that is something I actually would use myself more if I could just change things. Yeah, make something different out of it. And it's too bad I can't upload this whole castle because I would definitely do that if I could. But yeah, I think this turned out really cool, and this was the first time building a huge castle like this for me, and I never really done that before, so I'm pretty proud of the result. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you like this build, please give me a thumbs up so I know that you liked it, and or leave a comment, of course. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you on the next one.